All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Grace Safarian, and I'm the CEO of La Socière and the founder of MBAide. And welcome today to our MBAide speaker series, which is being presented by our MBAide associate, Destiny Owobu. He's also an executive MBA, and he's presenting today the topic of how to start a business with little or no money. And a little bit about Destiny. He brings over 2 decades of experience. He has successfully founded, managed, and expanded businesses in education, edtech, and photographic printing industries. Destiny holds a bachelor's degree in accounting, economics, and statistics from the University of Lagos and the University of Benin, as well as an executive MBA from the Quantic School of Business and Technology. Beyond entrepreneurship, Destiny has also contributed to academia as a school teacher, director of studies at Project Brains Tutorial, and an associate lecturer in accounting at Wellspring University. Currently, Destiny is transitioning into business analytics and data science. He is a certified financial modeling and valuation analyst from the Corporate Finance Institute of Canada, and he is a certified data scientist from Sen Technologies. Destiny is actively enhancing his expertise in machine learning and artificial intelligence. So please join me in welcoming Destiny Owobu, and please take it away, Destiny. It's all yours.
Yeah, thank you very much for that warm introduction, and I'm excited to be here. Good day from Nigeria. I don't need much to introduce myself further. I'll just go straight to my motivation. First of all, over the last 20 years, I've had the privilege of starting 3 businesses that are very close to my heart. First of all, I am from Nigeria, and one of the biggest challenges we have in this country is unemployment, and over 60% unemployment, and 1 in every 2 businesses fail within the first 5 years, and 92% of businesses here are small businesses. We have less than 2% corporations, and no corporation employs as much as 20,000 people. So you can imagine the challenge of getting a job in Nigeria. For millions of Nigerians, 230 million people, it's a major challenge to have a job, a secure job. And that means a majority of the people will have to fend for themselves by starting their businesses if they stand a chance to be able to afford some of the things they want. And because of this, I am personally interested in business startups, small businesses. I founded Business Crusader Academy to help the millions of small businesses to get up their feet, start, grow, and employ thousands of people, because I believe that that's the only way to get people out of poverty. Okay, so going to what we're doing today, the biggest question I'm asked as a business trainer or a coach is, how does one get money to start business in a country where the banking system is not very developed, where sources of finances are very minimal, and these companies that give money do not want to fund small startups. They prefer to fund existing companies that are very large because of the risk involved. They believe that funding small companies is a waste of resources because they believe these people cannot pay back. So how do you start a business with little or no capital? How do you start? That's the biggest question I'm asked as a business coach. And so that's informed this topic. So I would like to share my screen and to share my experience over the last 20 years of how to start a business on a budget. So the first thing I believe one should do to start a business with little or no capital is to know the business itself. Most people undermine the knowledge of business before one goes into business. In most business schools and most people who want to start business, they start with a great business idea. They start planning. They try to prepare a business plan. They try to set up what we call business model canvas and things like that. But if you're going to start a business small and you're going to start with little capital, the first most important thing that will stand in your favor is getting to know the business itself. In my business, in my 3 businesses I started up, it's easy to start a business where you already know the business. By knowing the business, I mean that you have a properly validated product, a product that is not just a nice to have, but a need to have, a product that is validated in the market, that people are already desiring, people are willing to pay for. You should have a good understanding of the product creation process. You should have known the customer segments, the profiles of this customer, and how these customers want to be served. You should be able to create a prototype of this product and demonstrate its usefulness to potential customers. Before you even try to start, you must have a product that people are very much desiring. You should also know how to make money from this business. Otherwise, you must understand the business model, how to make money. You must be certain how to make money from this business. You must know what it will cost to serve a customer, because you need to serve people. What will it cost you to serve a customer? You must know what is the marginal cost of serving another customer. So if you know the cost of serving one customer, then you should be able to estimate the cost of serving an extra customer before you even start. You should know the minimum overhead cost that needs to be be there before you can even start operations. You need to know the burn rate. If you start the business, what will it cost? How long will it take your initial capital to finish? You must know the burn rate, the rate at which you're going to burn capital for the business to get to that point where you can get enough paying customers. You need to understand what the most effective way to market to that customer is, because what people do around here, they believe in renting a big shop to start. They try to put goods inside the store, and then they try to put a lot of fittings, furniture, and other things without putting the customer forward, without thinking about whether people desire this product in the first place, without thinking whether they're in the right location or others. They don't do all that. They don't understand the business. They dream, they plan, they do elaborate planning, and yet they don't simply understand the business because they've not worked in a business like that. They don't understand the nature of that business they are going into. You need to understand the most effective way to reach a customer. You need to understand what the profit margin looks like for that business you're going into. You need to understand how to scale the business to many locations and what are the things you should consider. So for my experience, knowing the business is very critical to succeeding in the business. So one needs to understand the critical success factors, understand the competition around that business, do a SWOT analysis, and draw a plan and a strategy. So if you don't understand the business and you jump into that business, you're likely going to fail no matter how much money you start that business with. So knowing the business is very, very much important. One of the richest men in Africa, Aliko Dangote, despite all the resources he controls, over $28 billion, he admitted to have failed in several businesses he jumped into without understanding the business. He succeeded in only those businesses where he had a first-hand understanding of how the business works, the business model, and how to succeed in that business. Other ones, he went into banking, he failed woefully. He went into making pastries, he failed woefully because he just thought having a lot of money and putting money into that business would make it work. So he admitted that knowing the business is the critical success factor in doing well in a business. So it's not capital. The next thing we need to do is I'm going to the next page. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay, good. Now, the next thing is when you know the business, you need to narrow the business to the customer. Here, knowing the customer involves knowing the customer demographics, the age group, the average income level of this customer, and the gender you're dealing with. You need to understand customer behavior, their frustrations, their pain points, what motivates them, and how your product will address those problems. You need to understand their values and life aspirations. You need to understand their social circles, where they hang out, their hangout spots, their entertainment preferences. You need to understand other related products that they use. You need to do a serious customer analysis to get your customer profile and your customer avatar. Understanding your customer on the first principles basis is very important in succeeding in business. I remember when I started my second business, Project Brain Tutorials. I started elaborately. I put a lot of money forward in the business without understanding the demographics, what my students want. For instance, I deal with students between the ages of 16 and 23. I started this business thinking that putting more money in the business would make it work. But in the third year of the business, I changed strategy. I did a lot of research on what these young people really want. I was shocked to discover that what I thought they wanted most was not exactly what they wanted. I sent 3,000 questionnaires to these students and asked them what they wanted, and then they filled it, they returned it. I saw that these students quickly, one of the biggest determinants of success in my business was simply their peers. Knowing that these people move as like a herd, I started marketing towards their peers, using influencers more. Instead of using TV adverts and others, I started using influencers, started using ways to attract these students in groups. And my profit increased 300%, just simply understanding the customer motivations, what makes them tick, how they like to be served, where they want to be. Only that knowledge increased my profit by 300%. But at first, I thought what I wanted, what I thought they wanted was important. I just discovered that that is not true. By a simple research, I found out that the customer first is the basic way to succeed in a business when you don't have a lot of resources. So you need to make sure you understand your customers on first principles basis. What are their drives, their motivations? What kind of products do they like to consume? Where else would you find your customers? What are their values and life aspirations? What do they want? What are their pain points? What are their frustrations? What are their in-depth motivations? If you understand the customer very well, it is very easy to get a sale from a customer with a better customer analysis. The next thing one has to understand is that most people always think about business in terms of money, 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 money. But thank God, in the age of information, we don't have to do that. We can start our business nowadays without having a lot of money. For instance, you can put your business out on social media from home without having an office. Most people in my part of the world always put a lot of money on rent, put a lot of goods, and spend lots of money without even getting out to the public. So you mean you spend close to 5-10 million naira to set up a business, and then your customer does not even know whether you exist. They have never seen you before. And now there are so many ways you can get these things for free. You don't even have to spend a penny to start from home nowadays. So you can set up a social media account for free. You can list yourself on Google My Business. People can simply search you out and find you there. You can get registered on Facebook without spending a dime. You can get registered on WhatsApp. You could sell on WhatsApp now with just a token. You could open an Instagram account, a TikTok account. In my country, TikTok is very popular. You can open a free TikTok account. You can upload messages on YouTube for free. And so these things do not cost a dime, but you just need to be these places. And then you can, from these platforms, you can build a reputation around your product or service. At this time, you have not even started your business at all. You have just simply started online, and you are letting people know that you exist. This is what you do. For instance, when I started my third business, the business was online for 6 months, and I got my first 1 million naira contract without training, and I haven't even set up shop. You know, like I told you, I started a business called Business Crusader Academy. As I speak right now, I have not even opened a shop. I have not spent any kobo on furniture, and yet I've earned over 4 million naira from the business without even spending a dime. Why? Because I was able to build a reputation around what I do. I positioned myself as an expert in solving customers' problems, and people saw these online, and these are free mediums. I didn't do a single ad on Facebook. All right. So I was talking about opening social media channels and posting regularly on these channels so that people can get to know you, know what you can offer, establish yourself as an expert, and provide valuable information that addresses customer problems. This can be done without spending a dime. You can even set up a website nowadays without even spending a dime too. There are free resources to set up free websites. They may not be hosted personally, but they can be hosted within another major company's website just to start. And there are AI programs that can design a website nowadays without you personally having to pay a website designer to design the website. You can start cheap, and reach your customers that way. Another thing one can do is to bootstrap the business. Yes, most people think that with a lot of money, you can start business or you need to have contacts with a bank or a financial institution. Yes, in a developing country like Nigeria, that is not easily available. Like I said before, there are no corporate entities that are willing to give loans to a person that is just starting a business. Most of your business will be started by yourself. You have to start with the personal savings you have. I like to use myself as an example. When I started my second business, I only had 250,000 naira to start. I paid the rent and I had no money to start whatever I wanted to do. So what I did was this: I took a picture of the hall, which I paid for, and I sent it to all my friends and family members. I told them I have made some progress. I've been able to get an apartment for the business, but I don't have money to continue. They knew that I have done businesses before. They trusted my ability to work, to run with it. That is where you need personal capital. Your reputational capital is a source of capital too. Most people they undermine the power of their reputations. If people perceive you as a failure, they may not want to give you money to start business. If you have a reputation of borrowing and paying, or you have a reputation of taking advantage of opportunities and doing well with it, you are going to attract friends and family members who trust you enough to do well with the business. You must have strong character reputation for this to work. So when I started that business, I spent 250,000 naira to just get the rent. That's my personal money. And then I took pictures of the hall, empty hall, and I sent it to my friends. I sent it to 34 friends. 22 responded. And each of them started offering me small amounts of money because I explained to them the full picture of what I was trying to do. In fact, one of them gave me 800,000 naira. My own investment in the business was 250,000 naira. And here was one single person giving me 800,000. Another gave me 300,000. Even one of them gave me 30,000 naira. One even gave me 15,000 naira. That's the smallest amount they can afford. When I put these resources together, I was able to start the business. You see, you must be seen to put your foot in the door. Nobody's going to fund your business if you are not willing to sacrifice what you already have. So you must ask for help from family and friends. You must seek early investment from potential customers. In fact, some of your customers may fund it. When I opened that second business, I ran it for 3 years, and then I needed a branch office. How did I get the branch office? I teach young people, 16 to 25-year-olds. One of the parents of these people, of these young ones, was so impressed by the work we were doing and was willing to give me a land to lease for 10 years without making a payment. Okay, that's a customer funding my business. Gave me land, a personal land, for me to set up a structure for lease for 10 years because he was impressed at the way we taught their children. And that's an example of a customer funding your business. So if people trust you enough to deliver on service, they can fund your business by either supplying you for free or giving you facilities to use for free at the early stage of your business. Your friends can do that. You must understand that banks may not provide loans to new businesses, especially if you live in a poor country like Nigeria. They don't trust small businesses. They like to deal with established businesses. You must take responsibility for launching your business and leveraging your personal capital so that you can get out to meet people who need your services. To this extent, your reputation is very important. Another thing you can do to start a business with little or no money is to learn to network with other people. How does that come about? Before I started that business, for instance, I had the 250,000 I kept in an account, but I chose not to start the business. I chose to work in another business related to my business. From there, I made contacts with teachers. I made contacts with customers. Although it was not in my business, I networked with industry influencers, people who were very important in the business. Like I said, you need to understand the business you are going into. Because I worked in another business related to that business, I knew firsthand how the customers think. I knew how they work together. I knew what they valued most in that particular business. And then I worked there for 6 months to 8 months before I could launch my business. In the process, you learn to network with industry influencers and suppliers. You connect with related businesses that either are business contact groups to your business. You learn to work with other businesses that are related to your business. I give an example here. If you, for instance, want to start selling wedding gowns, there are other businesses that are related to that because your customer base also patronize those businesses. You could work with salons, you could work with photographers because these people want to take pictures of these people. You could work with salons, you could work with clothing retailers that serve new couples. You could work with hamper sellers, cake makers, musicians, caterers. These people serve the same customer base. So, for example, like I said, if you are starting a gown business, you don't just think about the gown and what you're selling alone. Your customer base has a network of other suppliers which they deal with. You can simply go to these shops, put your cards in those places, put your marketing materials in those places, because these people patronize related businesses to yours. And so you can do that without even spending a lot of money. And then you attract these people to your business. You could also provide valuable industry insights to your customers. For instance, customers can come to your business to ask questions not directly related to your business, but related to your industry. You have to be able to answer their questions, even whether they patronize your business or not, as long as it is an industry-related question. You have to be an expert. You have to establish yourself as a dependable source of information for problem solving. So, and you have to really understand how the industry works, the big problems that the industry faces, the kind of solutions you can offer, and those other people can offer better. You can't be thinking about yourself alone when you want to start a business. You must think industry orientation. You must understand the networkings of the industry, how it functions, suppliers, business contact groups, people that are related to your business. The knowledge of that network and the networking itself is very important in succeeding in a business where you have little or no capital. Another thing I thought was very important to starting a business is to think big, but start small. Think big, but start small. I like to tell people, think like a giant, walk like the ants. These little ants are very small, but when you see the ant hill that they build, you wonder how these small termites were able to build that ant hill. So most people start a business thinking around big things like branding, packaging, setting up. They want to attract the big customers at first. That's not how it starts. You have to have that, what we call it, like what Facebook said, you have to break things, move fast, break things. You have to start thinking about your business in form of iterations. You start small. If you go to Facebook now, for instance, it is nothing like the way it was when it started. A lot of things were added along the way. You're not going to have it all figured out the very first time. So you start small. As far as you have a minimum viable product, you start from there. But think big, be strategic, but start with the smallest available service. In starting small, I thought that the best way to do that is to move closer to your customer. What is the smallest problem of the customer you can solve? Start with that and solve it very well. Don't have elaborate plans of solving big problems when you don't have the resources to do that. I always tell people in my local country here, if you want to start selling cell phones, for instance, you don't start with selling cell phones. You don't have the resources because sometimes cell phones could be very expensive. You could start a business related to that business. For instance, you could start selling phone accessories. Okay. If you sell phone accessories, you could grow the phone accessories into the phone sales itself. Then from these phone sales, you could grow that into the laptop PC sales. There are different levels of business. So you want to start selling PCs. That's the end point. But you don't have the resources to start selling PCs. You could start with cell phone accessories, earbuds, screen guards, and things like that. You could sell those ones very well. And when you have built a reputation around selling that, you could grow the business into selling cell phones. And when you have built some capacity around selling cell phones, you could grow your business into selling PCs. Most people think PCs first instead of thinking about starting the business. So you have to move fast, start with the smallest point, and then grow it with time. You also learn the ropes. You learn how to start small, lean startup, and then you grow. You make a lot of mistakes along the way. You also know what customers want. You feel the pulse, and then you grow. So the idea is to think big and start small. I recommend think big, start small. Another thing one should do is the apprenticeship model. In my country, there's a model that is not usually very popular in business school. There's a group in my country called the Igbo Society. These people are one of the biggest businessmen in my country. This is how they operate their business. After high school, 90% of the Igbo group will not go to college. And yet these people control millions of dollars of businesses around my country. They are the richest indigenous group of people within my country. What model do they use? They use apprenticeship. So how does it work? You finish high school, you go and work for a rich businessman in the business of your choice. You work with him for 6 years, learning finance, accounting, marketing, and other things. You work for free. He houses you, he pays you money to live your life. And then at the end of the 6-year period, you get a degree, but the degree is not like a college degree. The degree is that he gives you startup capital to start your business. So you work for an established firm for 6 years without being paid. You are just be given stipends to exist. You learn the ropes, you learn marketing, you learn finance, you learn accounting, you learn everything from this business, more like you are already working. He houses you, he feeds you, and then at the end of 4, 5, 6 years, he gives you 10 million naira to start your business. By this time, you have established a reputation in the business. You've understood how to deal with suppliers. You've understood how to handle money, how to start small. You understand all the aspects of the business. You are an expert in almost every aspect of the business. And then you now have capital for this man, 6 to 10 million to start your business. You set up your shop and you take off. Over a 15-year period, these people move from having nothing to becoming multimillionaires and billionaires, and their businesses grow very much because they spent over 6 years learning this business in an apprenticeship. The modern form that is also coming up is accelerators and incubators. You know, there's a company, a bank in Nigeria that it's called Tonelumelu Fund. You go there, you get incubated for about 1 year. After 1 year, you learn about business, and then they give you $5,000 to start up. This is another way to start a business without your own money or without investing a lot of capital in the business. So apprenticeships, accelerators, and incubators are very viable ways to start a business without having a lot of money. You learn the ropes, you also get capital at the end of these programs. And then you try to exhaust all options available to you. One way to exhaust those options is to use crowdfunding platforms. There are a lot of crowdfunding platforms around nowadays. You can simply research them, especially those ones that fund the kind of business that you want to go into. You can also start considering a partner. Sad to say, in my country, there's a lot of mistrust because of corruption. And so people find it difficult to form viable partnerships because research shows that partnerships usually end within the first 2 years because of disagreements between the partners. There are no proper contracts and people are not willing, they don't have good business ethics. They don't know how to follow the spirit of contracts. But research also shows that most of the successful businesses in Nigeria were partnerships with family members, partnership with high school friends, partnership with university undergraduate course mates. These kind of partnerships do grow up to become very successful, especially when these partners have a long-standing relationship. So when you go into a partnership with a person, it must be a person that you have known for at least 5 years. And these people, you understand them from the family level, from a friendship level. You've done some things with them. You were friends in high school. You were roommates. So most people, they understand your temperament. They understand your vision. They are patient to wait till this business succeed. So partnership is a very viable way to start business without capital. Both of you will bring your skills together, bring the little funds you have together, and then you start small. And then both of you commit some time and energy to this business before other people come to support your business with funding. Partnership is a viable way to start a business without money. One good thing about partnership is that you bring complementary skill sets together so that where you lack resources, your partner may have resources, or where you lack certain skills, your partner may make up for those skills. Another way to exhaust your options is to seek out microfinance or fintech companies. There are a lot of fintech companies rising up in my country, for instance. They are willing to give you loans as small as 20,000 naira, 30,000 naira to start a business without collateral, without having anything to as a security. but you build your credit with these people. I remember starting one with as small as 20,000 naira. When you return it within a month, they make it 50,000 naira. When you return it within another 2 months, they make it 100,000 naira. When you return it within another 6 months, they make it 2 million. Like I said, these microfinance institutions, they are expert at funding small businesses with high risk. If you go to commercial banks, deposit money banks, you're not going to get a loan from them. But microfinance institutions do not need any security. They only need your credit, your ability to repay, your credit record. So how do they operate? You go to these banks, you just open an account with them, you tell them the business you want to go into. They give you small capital to start, small money, maybe like 50,000 naira. And this 50,000 naira, they give you 2 months to pay back. And then when you pay back at the right time, they increase your credit and say you can get 200,000. You take that, you put it in your business, and you pay back within 6 months. When you're able to pay back at the right time, they increase it to 500,000. You run that business, you pay back within a year, and then they increase it to 2 million. They can give you as much as 2 to 5 million if you have built a reputation of paying back and keeping your funds with them. That is one way to start your business without having to have security, capital, and work to a bank. You just start with these fintechs. These people are specialists in funding businesses without security, without requesting for security or expecting your business to have started at least for 3, 4, 5 years. They don't even expect your business to be registered before they can give you these resources. So these are the ways that one can explore to be able to start a business without anything. So it all depends on understanding the business, um, um, building a reputation, somebody that can be trusted, and then networking with industry experts, knowing your customer very well, and using the apprenticeship system or working in a business that is related to your business for some time so that you understand the critical success factors of this business so that you don't spend money without having a knowledge of your return on investment. Because marketing, everything in business has a return on investment attached to it. But if you understand the business and how it functions before you go into it, you optimize that return on investment by spending the money only on the critical elements of success. And this gives you a head start and improves your chances of doing well in the business without having to spend all the money in the world or having to borrow or having to put your neck on the line. So that's my little cent on starting a business with little capital and growing it into a business that can employ people, have reputation, and get capital from other investors.
So yeah, thank you so much, Destiny, and everybody else. This was great, and we hope to see everyone again. We have these once a month. MBAide associates, basically, they do the presentations once a month, and they just present something that they're experts in, and it's good exposure to them. This is for the whole public, so everybody can see them. This is all recorded on our YouTube channel, Associates YouTube channel. So you can visit that and you see more videos like this. So it's a good learning and networking session for everyone. And we hope to see more MBAs join us. And if you ever want to, talk about what MBA is, I'm always available. So you can just email. Take care. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.